So, not everyone with IgA nephropathy will suffer from end-stage kidney disease, but about 25% of them will. However, there is another option to consider: participating in a clinical trial. Depending on the availability and your eligibility, it could be a potential next step for you to explore. Let's discuss more about this option. Clinical trials, also known as clinical studies, are used to test how well new medicines and treatments work in people with IgA nephropathy. Sometimes, they also study how established treatments may be used in a new way. These trials can take years to complete and typically begin with testing the treatment in a lab and on animals before moving on to human trials. It's important to note that there are always risks involved with participating in a clinical trial, but researchers and reviewers have safeguards in place to ensure that participants are treated safely and fairly. Many people choose to join a clinical trial in order to access the newest treatments and receive extra care and attention as they deal with their disease. When considering joining a clinical trial for IgA nephropathy, it's important to meet the eligibility criteria for that specific trial. Each trial has its own guidelines based on the treatment being tested. You can search for potential trials on websites such as clinicaltrials.gov, which is a national database for finding clinical trials for any condition. The National Kidney Foundation also provides a list of ongoing kidney disease clinical trials, and the IgA Nephropathy Foundation describes various IgA nephropathy clinical trials and their objectives. Additionally, the Mayo Clinic offers information about IgA-specific trials and their goals. Clinical trials for IgA nephropathy can cover a range of potential treatments, including reducing protein in the urine, reducing inflammation in the kidneys, and possibly eliminating the need for anti-rejection drugs after a kidney transplant. If you're considering a clinical trial for IgA nephropathy, your doctor can help you stay updated on how it may impact you. They can also assist you in finding potential clinical trials that might be a good fit for you. Once you find a clinical trial you're interested in, you can ask the following questions. What is the purpose of this clinical trial and what phase is it in? Will the researchers work with my doctor? Who will oversee my care? Who will I get in touch with if I have problems, questions, or concerns? What were the results in past studies of this treatment? How likely are they to apply to me? Is there anything else I can read about this clinical trial? What kinds of treatments and tests would I need to have? How often are they done? Would I need to plan on extra time or travel? What side effects might I expect? Are there other risks? How do you know if the treatment is working? Will I have to be in the hospital for any part of the trial? Will I have to pay for anything? Will my insurance cover the treatment? If I am harmed because of the research, what treatment will I be entitled to? How long will I be in the clinical trial? How long will the clinical trial last? Will I still be able to work if I am in the clinical trial? Are there reasons I could be removed from the clinical trial? Are there reasons the clinical trial might be stopped early? Is long-term follow-up care part of the trial? What would it involve? If the treatment is working for me, can I keep getting it even after the clinical trial ends? Can I talk to other people taking part in the clinical trial? Will I be able to find out about the results of the clinical trial?